It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Lots to talk about on this Monday afternoon, including the XFL Championship game that is this Saturday in the Alamodome. And we've got tickets to give away all week long.
Oh, nice. Well, that'll be fun.
Will be a lot of fun in the Alamodome this Saturday. Let's talk about it with one of the coaches that's going to be in the Alamodome this Saturday. Coach Bob Stoops joining us now on the Blitz. Coach, I look at this game and this matchup, and even you, after you won the playoff game, seemed a little surprised. As strange as this season has been, how nice is it to be working this week?
Yeah, it's fantastic. This is what you start the season looking for, is to have a chance to be the champions. And so anyway, it's, we're catching our stride at the right time. And, so that's the big thing, is hopefully being able to finish it out this weekend there Saturday evening against DC at 7 o'clock.
You know, Coach, I guess it's just that old saying, right? It doesn't matter how you got there, just get there. And then you start over and you have a shot just like anybody else.
That's exactly right. And again, I think sometimes it's, what time of year do you get hot and really make the right plays? And hopefully we could continue to make some.
Coach Bob Stoops joining us here on the Blitz, head coach of the Arlington Renegades. And I look at your season and the turnaround when you made the trade to get Luis Perez. Now, I remember and got to know Luis a little bit when he was in the Alliance playing for Birmingham. And I always wondered, would he get the opportunity at the next level? Interesting guy, but the addition of him, not just what he's done on the football field, but the locker room, clearly has meant a lot for the team. But talk about what he has done for you guys.
Yeah, Luis is a great leader, really a galvanizing type guy. Players have really rallied around him, and for good reason. On the field, he's a smart, good football player, got a great arm, really makes his reads quickly, gets the ball out, quick. So he's really been a big difference for us, definitely.
Coach Stoops, when you came to the XFL and wanted to continue coaching, what was your reasoning? Was it just something it's just one of those things you can't get out of your blood system? You got to be a football coach?
I love it. I love the game. I love being on the field. I've really enjoyed working with these older players who love football as well, and they pick it up so quickly because they have so much experience. But here's the difference. When I leave the field, I don't have to walk into an academic meeting. I don't have to walk into a compliance meeting. I don't have to go to a recruiting meeting. I don't have to call Johnny's parents tonight because he won't go to class. I don't have to do any of that. There's no babysitting. There's just football with a bunch of guys who love to play football. So all of that together just fits me perfectly. And it's a certain part of the year that also fits my schedule and my family.
Coach Bob Stoops joining us here on the Blitz. And Coach, as I hear you say that, and I think about some of the other college coaches that we talk to and the grind, and then you add in the portal and now the NIL, how much, I don't know, right, the way I want to ask this, but how nice is it for you not to have to deal with all of that's going on in college football right now?
Yeah, well, again, that's why I said what I did. That's why I enjoy this so much. And look, if I was just starting my career or back 15 years ago, I'd deal with it fine if I needed to. But when I stepped away, it wasn't because of that. I strictly wanted my own space, my own time. I felt like at 18 years there at OU, I had done my deal, and it was time to see what the good Lord, what else he was going to bring me. So then, after 3 years of my own time and space, I had a little bit too much of it. So I decided to do this.
Coach, obviously, and you know this, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Here in San Antonio, in the Austin area, we didn't like you very much for many, many years being the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. But you've had some pretty good success in the Alamodome. You ready to get back in the dome and play this big ball game?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been lucky to have some good games there, with most notably the Big 12 championship game against number one in the country, Missouri, where I think we won 38-17 or something like that. So that was a special one. And then, of course, having to come back and coach just a couple of years ago and be on the field there for our win, and my son score a touchdown, all of that together. That was another good one. So yeah, I've been lucky and had some good moments in the Alamodome.
Absolutely. And of course, that was a nice bowl win over the the Oregon Ducks. 47-32, the final in that one. 3-0 inside the Alamodome. You look at this game coming up. I mean, DC has had such a great year. When you watch them on film and you're getting ready for a championship game and you've got 2 weeks to prepare, do you like having that extra time? Does it almost remind you of like preparing for one of those big bowl games?
Yeah, to some degree. I think you have to watch sometimes. You can, if you overdo it, it becomes stale. So I think we fought that this week and last week, and I think we're in a good spot. But yeah, playing DC, they're 10-1, had a great year. Reggie Barlow's an awesome coach, and he's the coach of the year in the league, and deservedly so. And his coordinator's doing an awesome job. They've got a good team. Jordan Teamo, the quarterback's a fantastic player. Abram Smith, the running back. I remember all those years at Baylor as well. What a great back he is. So anyhow, they've got a lot of good weapons, and they do a really good job. Both sides of the football. Greg Williams, they mix it up and try and confuse you on defense. So all of it together, it's a big challenge for us.
Coach Stoops, when you the young men that you have the opportunity to coach here in the XFL, I know a lot of them still have some NFL dreams and all of that kind of stuff. What kind of attitude do you see from these guys and the ambition that they have to move on to the next level? And do you have some guys that are just enjoying playing where they're at right now?
Well, it be the case. They just enjoy playing, and this is their opportunity. But the younger guys, of course, still have aspirations and dreams to play in the league, and we want that for them. And this gives them a platform to show how they can play. And I'll be honest, they're a joy to coach and to work with. They just love football, and that's why they're all here. And it's really been enjoyable working. I mean, I tell people, between the preseason and this 10, 11 game season, I have not had one problem. And that's, so when you look forward to coming to work and being around these guys, that makes it, that makes it a lot of fun.
Arlington Renegades head coach Bob Stoops joining us here on the Blitz as his Renegades get ready to take on DC in the championship game Saturday night in the Alamodome. And you talk about the success of a lot of these players. And, I think about when I was doing radio for the San Antonio team in the Alliance, a lot of guys that were on that team are on your team. And I think about like Devontae Bosby as one who did make it to the NFL for a couple of years with Denver, and now he's back trying to work his way up. When you look at these guys that are trying to get back to the NFL, how do you advise them on, just staying with the grind, getting good tape out there, putting in the work to be able to stay active and get that next opportunity?
Well, you really don't have to convince them of that. They know that. That's why they're here. They understand this is a platform to show how they can still play. Devontae Bosby is a great example of the guy has played fabulous all year. Been a fantastic player for us, covering everybody, and but they're aware. I mean, that's why they're doing what they do. They play hard. They love the game, and there's a lot of really good players, across the league, not just with us.
Coach, it's amazing because I joked earlier that we didn't like you very much. The reason is because Oklahoma had Texas number quite a bit during your career at Oklahoma. But, we in the media like to put nicknames and stuff on people, and yours is Big Game Bob. Is that something that you, I don't know, like or admire, or you just kind of blow that off?
First of all, you never want your opponents to like you a lot. That means they're beating you a lot. So I never worried about who didn't like me across the league, and that's fine. But no, I don't care for the name. When it first came out, you have to go back to the 2000 to 2003-4, where our record, you look it up, was unbelievable against ranked teams, and in Big 12 championship games and on. But anytime that's thrown at you, at some point, if the longer you stay in it, you're never going to win them all. And eventually when you lose, there comes the, oh yeah, okay, so I never cared for it, but I just disregarded it, to be truthful with you. I don't pay much attention to what's said in the media or what fans want to say, because I can't control that. That's, just go about my own business and enjoying what I'm doing.
And again, and it seems like you're having fun with the XFL, still very much involved in college football. And like you said, a couple years ago, the interim, while the Sooners were playing here in the bowl game. When you look at college football right now, when you're talking with your friends that are still in the profession, I mean, I think about like Jeff Traylor here at UTSA or Sark now in Austin. They use the term guardrails and rules that they need to get around college football. Do you like the state of college football as it sits right now?
Oh, absolutely not. I think we're in a bad space, a bad place, and leadership and whatnot has to. And I fault leadership that they didn't have some guardrails and restrictions or some kind of rules to what they're doing before this all broke. But now that it's broke and it's a wild, wild west, how do you get your arms around it? So they need to, but we'll see where it goes. I can sleep at night, and that's not my worry anymore.
How would you fix it if they came to you and said, "Hey, we want to put together a committee of guys that know the business but not coaching"? How would you fix it?
That's not for me to say. I'm not gonna. I'm not in all the meetings and the details of it all the way it is right now for me to even be fair to say that.
Coach, I've got to ask you a question, because when it comes to rivalry games with Oklahoma and Texas, for example, we always looked on the schedule, when was that game going to be, and couldn't wait for it. As a head coach of a program like Oklahoma, was that something you looked at? And I know you guys say it's one game at a time and all that stuff, but I mean, when you looked at Texas on the schedule, do your juices get flowing a little bit for something like that?
Let me preface it by saying, when you're at OU, a 10-2 season, that was frowned upon at OU. So if you're going to win 10, 11, 12, or go undefeated like we did in 2000, you've got to have the same energy for every game. And we really emphasize that, the week never lost, I don't believe, in my 18 years, the week before or the week after Texas. So to me, if you just put all your eggs in one basket, when I first took the job, they say, just beat Texas, you'll be fine. No, that's not the case. They want us to beat everybody. So point being, you had to put the same energy all week. And on game day, end up beating whoever you're going to play. And I never felt you could play differently just because why aren't you playing your best all the time? And that's what we tried to do. Now, I didn't have to say a lot game week or game day at Texas. You start walking down that ramp and you're in the same tunnel together, and you see that crowd and the bands, and you know what's coming. So there's a little bit of the atmosphere that catches you that you don't have to talk about. It's there. And I always knew that you don't have to say a whole lot in those moments.
What are you going to have to say Saturday night to get your Renegades ready for the Defenders?
These guys are beyond it. They don't need to be tricked into wanting to play hard. They know what they're doing. So to me, it's always concentrating on being our best. Playing smart football, which to me means no pre or post snap penalties that put you behind the chains, taking care of the football, knowing assignments, those kind of things. Do the things that you can control and do them well. And that's what we'll try and do.
Good luck on Saturday night. The DC Defenders against Bob Stoops' Arlington Renegades. Coach, appreciate you taking the time today. Good luck Saturday in the Alamodome, as you guys will end up, or you personally will be 4-0 inside the dome.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys talking about the game, and hopefully the people of San Antonio come out and see both teams. It'll be good football.
Absolutely. Coach, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bob Stoops, head coach of the Arlington Renegades, joining us live here on the Blitz. And, we've got the championship game in our city on Saturday night.